Hanging out inside DHA's Box of Rock with everybody knows, like, my favorite band. It's Jay and Scott from Rival Sons. Welcome, my rock stars.
Hello, happy to be here.
It is so great to be here with you.
So happy to see you guys. Now, I had you in the Box of Rock probably, God, time goes by so fast, maybe 3 years ago, maybe even a little longer. Sabbath Tour.
What was the arena? What was
PNC Bank Arts Center.
Yeah.
PNC.
That would have been a year and a half ago.
That was a lovely, lovely day, too.
Yeah, 2016.
Plus a year and a half. I don't know.
Yeah, 2016, I think it was. And, I mean, look how busy you guys have been. Coming out with the, I guess, 6th plus EP, so technically kind of 7th record.
7th record.
January for the 7th record. Tell me a little bit about putting together this collection.
We took our time, right, Scott? We took our time. We gave ourselves a good, 8 months to really put it together.
Yeah. We started by. Jay just said it on stage. I don't know if these people are going to see that, but we started by going up to Hohenwald in Tennessee.
Down to Hohenwald.
Down. Sorry. It feels like up because it somehow feels up. Anyway, we went to Hohenwald, which is a swampy, snake-ridden.
The town is very beautiful, mind you. It was just the spot that we were at. I intentionally
Clean it up,
had
Clean it
taken
up for
Scott way out to this place through a friend of ours, Aubrey Preston. Put us out in this old reservoir, and it was snake-ridden. Lily pads, overgrown, like old reservoirs and stuff like that. We started there.
We started there, made fires by night by the lake, and rode off-road vehicles for our breaks in between riding, and cooked and just wrote and came up with ideas and brainstormed. Then we went home and kind of started to round out the songs that we started there and come up with a whole bunch of other ones. And it's kind of cool because we're in different places. We're like different types of people. We're writing very different ideas and then kind of going, here's my chocolate. I'm going to throw it in your peanut butter.
Yeah,
and then kind of just doing that over and over again until we felt like we had the best thing.
And that's what's really unique about this collection altogether, is that we were trading ideas back and forth for the entire time and trying to make the best songs that we could, you know?
Well, the band has always been very chameleon. You've been incredibly chameleon-like, because I'll look at videos and footage like from years ago, and like his look is always changing, but that cool Rival Sons vibe is always there. There's just, the sound is always there, but you guys are not afraid to take chances. I mean, on Hollow Bones, you guys did, I always call that like your Pink Floyd record, because it was like so experimental, and you guys did, a lot with Thundering Voices. And releasing that single to radio, which was kind of
that's right. And thank you for playing that one.
A little bit of a non-traditional,
Love that.
Bit of a non-traditional vibe for you guys. So is that always something that you're sort of conscious of, like, let's change it up, or does it just sort of follow that trajectory when you guys are in the studio?
No, it's an absolute conscious decision. We look at what we've done previously. I don't think it's forced or anything. We don't have to overly force it. I think just artistically as people, when I'm working with Jay, we think like this. So we went right, we have to go left, or we've gone right and left, we have to go up or down this time. It has to do something different. Otherwise it gets predictable, or it gets I don't want to say boring, but it's not the way you do it. You have to try different things.
I don't think there isn't too much calculation. Actually, there's no calculation in it. It's a lot more along the lines of what feels natural. Because when you've already treaded certain territory and you've dug up things artistically as a band and what our ethos and what our identity has been, you have a natural tendency to not step over those same places, because it's just like farming, right? You plant corn one year on a couple of acres. You don't want to plant corn the next year, right? You need to shift and constantly find new soil. I think that we've tried to do that same thing. And so the growth, I think, has been natural and instinctive, and that's what we're trying to do, is trying to figure out how to stay true to ourselves, how to keep some modicum of authenticity, and do all of that stuff.
Nicely said.
Well, thank you very much.
So when people, I'm thinking of like WDHA listeners, and the feedback that I get, band that's saving rock, I say best band in rock, but I hear that from our listeners all the time. Is it a weird pressure? Do you guys feel that? Do you feel like you're one of those bands?
Wait, what did you say?
Band that's saving rock?
Or best band in rock? I like both torch carried.
Well, that familiar expression.
Yeah.
Something that's familiar to people, but man has that freshness and the uniqueness of a new band. So when you hear that about yourselves, I mean, is it pressure laden for you, or are you just like, man, they're getting it, they're just getting it?
I think more like the second one. There's no pressure for us. No, I
No.
think it's when we started the group, it's the same way we feel now, and that's that it did feel like there was less of rock and roll happening, and we wanted to contribute something that was in our hearts, that was going to be different and needed, and that just the beast we were. Like, this is what we had. This is what we had for people, and it's not really here that much right now. It's never going to die. We always say that rock and roll doesn't really need saving. It's just people just need to listen to it. People need to buy it again. There's a lot of rock and roll listeners. Your listeners are out there listening to rock and roll, and we see it all over, not only America, but all over Europe. And the rock and roll audience is out there, so I don't think it needs saving. It just needs bands to make good rock and roll, and people to buy it and listen to it and go watch it.
And as far as pressure goes, yeah, there's no pressure at all. We're waiting for other bands to keep stepping up, and we're in a really unique we're in a unique spot right now where other bands are stepping up, and I think that rock and roll is climbing out of the outer city limits, gutters, and it's coming much more into vogue, and I think it's a natural progression of the crazy ass times that we're in right now, and people are conflicted. It's like the right and the left, and there's a lot of extremes, and I think that that's typically when rock and roll really steps in, and with what we're doing, our job is to be ourselves, but we're a rock and roll band, and so I think that you're watching the groundswell. You're watching that whole wave come right now, and I still think we're about a year to a year and a half of the apex of it really taking hold. But